Gran Turismo Sport, a frustrating, mostly online-only driving simulator. After a series of delays and false starts, with a cancelled open beta and a small showing in E3, Gran Turismo Sport is here. Being a long-time Gran Turismo fan, you certainly can expect some scrutiny and a wealth of anxiousness when I cracked the seal. Before I cracked that plastic cover, I was greeted to a very non-Sony move. It read, "Internet required for most functionality." This is a company that told us you don't need continuous online connectivity and you can let your friends borrow your game. That was my first red flag. Upon starting the game, I was presented with an awesome retro tribute to the years past in racing. It was showing the years of cars and traditions accompanied by a beautiful score. Once I reached the menu, things changed in regards to the continuity of this classic franchise. There is no more GT mode, which made up most of the meat and potatoes of Gran Turismo. A mode in itself I've spent hundreds of hours tolling cars, grinding to acquire new rides so I can compete in more challenging races. I understand why Polyphony Digital called this Gran Turismo Sport instead of Gran Turismo 7. Presentation and racing feel aside, this is not set in that series whatsoever. Those hearing or reading this might think that all is lost. I won't lie to you. A lot of fun, challenging modes like A-Spec and B-Spec, as well as over 1,200 cars have been torn from this new series. I'd be the first to say that right there is truly a disappointment, especially with its gaming competitors like Forza, Project Cars, and Dirt having a selection of vehicles. This for me is a tough pill to swallow. But for the sake of the review, I will let you know what still makes Gran Turismo Sport a decent to alright game. Let's start with the racing feel, which is weaved across driving tests, mission challenges, circuit tests, and online competition. This is one of the mainstays of this franchise. I found myself glued to striving for first place and gold ranks, restarting and grinding towards better lap records. When I would complete a series of gold ranks, I was gifted with a vehicle by way of random lottery. While this sometimes was beneficial, most times I was gifted with a lower tier vehicle. As far as Gran Turismo Sport in-game achievements and trophy lists, most trophies feel like they're based around developing your skills to play the online portion of this title, and some achievements are directly behind the online mode's wall as well. Speaking of the online mode, which is what GT Sport was built around, Gran Turismo Sport mode consists of 3 daily race challenges that are changed out weekly. You, the player, are rated in the position you place and your sportsmanship. I personally found playing and winning to be extremely frustrating and challenging. I ranked 3rd one time based solely due to the poor sportsmanship functions. I completed the race in 8th, but thanks to people being poor sports, I moved up 5 positions based on sportsmanship alone. The sportsmanship system currently is very broken in GT Sport. How it works is if you don't hit others and you run a clean race, you will not be given a penalty time and can place higher than those with penalties. The problem that makes this virtually impossible is that if someone hits you, you also receive a penalty even though you're an innocent bystander. I succinctly remember one race where a poor sportsman would hit me every few seconds and push me into a wall where I received not 1, but 2 penalties. Penalties that would have never occurred if I wasn't hit. This caused me to place 13th, which is still respectful, but I finished the race 7th. And someone was able to grief me to failing farther. If the system is going to work, they will need to put more ghosting on the cars to keep the continuous griefing from happening. As for now, it is very much broke and holds most back from an enjoyable playability experience. Moving forward, they will hold championships based around online rank and sportsmanship. I only hope they fix how poorly sportsmanship was implemented in time to make these championships viable. Seeing this to be a pivotal mode in GT Sport, this will be the nail in the coffin for anyone looking for a redeeming feature for this title. I mentioned just moments ago about a feature that holds this game back from being great. Now I will list a few that helps keep this game above water and helps salvage this title. The biggest plus for this title is how the car feels while driving the tracks. I definitely caught the driving bug. I felt motivated to repeat races for better lap times. Keep in mind that Gran Turismo is my de facto racing series since I was a child, so take this with a grain of salt. Another nice feature which I mentioned previously was the gift card. This was earned by finishing the daily mileage goal and finishing series of events with gold medals. I like not having to purchase new cars even though I occasionally got repeats or lower tier vehicles. When I received a high-end car, it was awesome and made up for some of the balancing lottery challenges. The sound score and sound effects are some of the best of the series. The engine sounds are ratcheted up and appear a lot more beefier from previous iterations of Gran Turismo. Somehow, Gran Turismo still makes elevator music sound good in menus and races, which is an accomplishment on its own. I also appreciated the driving tests. Even though they were not as thorough as older Gran Turismo games, they still retained their silliness and charm. As for VR mode, I am not going into great detail. This mode is gimmicky, only being a 1v1 versus the AI. While it is cleaner than Drive Club VR, it is not as robustly implemented around features beyond the 1v1 race. It's a serving size feature. A quality serving size, not hampered with a sick-inducing point of view like Drive Club VR. I also forgot to mention the amount of blue screen errors while racing. Please note that this may be user-to-user situations. Though, for transparency's sake, I want to state I have been hit with at least 10 blue screens, some based around online connectivity, and others just randomly sprung upon me. I am playing on the PlayStation 4 Pro, so this might be also connected to that. There were occasions where I lost 200 plus laps of work. In the end, I can say with most certainty that even though I'm a die-hard Gran Turismo fan, I will suggest to wait for a budget price or try a different racing series like Need for Speed, Project Cars, and those who own an Xbox might even want to try Forza 7 for a spin. Gran Turismo Sport is built for those who want to be the best at Gran Turismo and doesn't have much wiggle room for casual drivers. Auto aficionados might want to also skip this, seeing how much was torn from the series in regards to tweaking or just the sheer lack of car models. This was a tough game to review due to being such a die-hard Gran Turismo fan. At the end of the day, I don't ever want to lead anyone astray. If you like what you see here, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. We here at Broke Left Stick Games appreciate you stopping by, and we will see you soon. Thanks.